Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551. And normally with this My 2 Cent video, I would have, the quick My 2 Cent and the movie and TV shows part of the My 2 Cents and all. However, due to something I had to sort of deal with a little bit later today, I decided to cut that out for this video and just get straight to our 5 stories I want to cover for this week, though. Hopefully next week it might be different, but for this video I have to do it that way. Also, there won't be any video review for this week, though, due to, again, some stuff I'm dealing with and everything like that. I'm hoping next week that will be different as well, but for right now, that's kind of the situation I'm sort of in at this moment, though. But in either case, we got 5 stories I want to cover this week, including rumors about possibility of Nintendo maybe relying on remasters to sort of help keep things occupied until the Switch 2 comes out. Supposedly another rumor regarding Xbox and how their multi-platform approach might have been thrown into a wrench of a situation, and there's possibility that they may be rethinking their strategy, though. The Circana numbers are out for September 2024, and we also have a comment made by Aron Greenberg in regards of the future of Banjo-Kazooie, in which he later had to respond to this. And of course, there's the Nintendo Playtest thing that happened that supposedly a lot of this information just got leaked out, though, which really isn't surprising at all. So if you're interested where I got the source of these information, though, links will be in the description of this video, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. But we'll get started with our first story, and this one has to do with the Nintendo playtest thing and the data mine. Now, earlier, this week, a couple of weeks ago and all, we saw that Nintendo was inviting people or those who wanted to sign up for this playtest that they were working on and everything like that. There were speculations of what this playtest might be. There are some who believe it could have been related to Switch 2. Others believe it could be a social network, maybe a return of Miiverse or something like that, or maybe a playtest of maybe something similar to what we saw with Tetris 99 and currently with F-Zero 99. So there was a lot of speculation and everything like that. The playtest part eventually filled up, so people who didn't get in, unfortunately, did not. And it does believe that Nintendo had them sign sort of an NDA to prevent this information getting out, though. Unfortunately, in the age of the internet and everything like that, information like this could get out very, very easily, and sadly enough, this apparently it did. It basically, the Switch thing was leaked out to the public and everything like that, which really should not be surprised or anything like that. In an article from Nintendo Life, and there are several articles, though, it reads that, quote, as Nintendo opened the gate to its upcoming Nintendo Switch Online playtest for successful participations, it didn't take long for the classified content to be plastered all over the social media, though. Indeed, if you search terms related to the playtest on social media right now, you'll immediately be greeted by information and screenshots providing critical context behind the upcoming playtest or per turn. Naturally, we won't be revealing such content here on Nintendo Live, but if you're desperate to know, you're not going to have a particular difficult time locating key information. There had one person who points out, hopefully Nintendo doesn't kill me for this. Apparently someone who did a playtest, and unfortunately that media has been basically been removed and everything like that. However, according to Insider Gaming, let me get that up here as well. Apparently, they have basically has some information, though, and according to this, this is what they have to say. Spoiler alert for some out there. But this is from Insider Gaming. It reads that, quote, a user by the name of Sky began posting information on Blue Sky on Monday morning. Information found included the playtest codename of Rockstock, as well as lists of what appears to be a mech or vehicle and minigame. It was also shown to be developed by Nintendo's ED4, which is a development group responsible for games such as 1-2 Switch, Ring Fit Adventure, Nintendo Switch Sports, and more. Other things discovered were the song files for the playtest text that would fit with a character creation, such as setting skin tones or body shapes, and being files to suggest both a PvE and a PvP within the game. Now, there has been some speculation that this is probably a MMO that Nintendo could be working on, which, if that is the case, that is certainly would be interesting if that turned out to be true at all. And I am very curious to see if this game does see the light of day, assuming it ever does. I'm curious to see if it will be released on the Switch, or maybe, you know, the Switch successor or the Switch 2. And I'm also curious to see how Nintendo will dip their toes into, if this is an MMO, if that is correct, if I'm hearing that correctly, how they're dipping their toes and how they're approaching this in regards to the MMO. Because obviously there are different versions of MMOs out there, and it will be interesting to see what kind of approach Nintendo does take with what they are working on. That said, there's no doubt about it that they are not happy that this information got leaked out to the public, and I would not be surprised if they start, you know, striking down videos or striking down tweets or anything like, or posts out there to try to cover this up. And it would not, and if, assuming these playtesters or some of them are leaking this information out or anything like that, it would not shock me. I don't know if this will happen, but it would not surprise me if Nintendo sends their lawyers out for these folks, because we know how, let's just say, Nintendo has a very good history when it comes to aggressively sending their lawyers out against some of this stuff, though. We've seen how they've gone after emulators and everything like that, which I think is debatable to a certain extent, but this does not surprise me. I would not be surprised if they did this, though, send their lawyers out against those who may have violated an NDA they may have signed or something like that when they wanted to do this and all. So overall, obviously, this is probably the news Nintendo did not want when this playtest was happening, or this information gets out and all. And it will be I'm very curious to see what this means going forward to the future if Nintendo ever does a playtest ever again. Let alone, it would be very interesting to see if they take legal action against these folks who may have leaked this kind of information, which they did not want to get out to the public and all. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 2. And this one has to do with a comment Aron Greenberg said regarding Banjo-Kazooie that, well, let's just say it didn't sit well with everybody out there, but supposedly he later tried to clarify this comment. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of my 2 cent video, and for this one, we're going to be taking a look at a comment made by Aron Greenberg in regards of Banjo-Kazooie. Now, Banjo-Kazooie obviously is a franchise that a lot of, you know, let's just say a lot of gamers, particularly since now Rare is owned by Microsoft, would like to see a comeback, though, as the series has been on the Nintendo 64, and I think even the Game Boy Advance. And then there was really one entry from Rare and Microsoft, and that was under the name Nuts and Bolts, which, for what I understand, not everyone liked that one, so you could take it however you want to take it with that version. I never played that, though. But the game has also made an appearance on Rare's Replay, and most recently, the game has started making an appearance on Nintendo Switch's online service, with Banjo-Tooie just recently joining that service as well. And since then, there has been some comments, or been people who have been want to see another Banjo-Kazooie game, and there has been some rumors that Toys for Bots might have been working on one or anything like that. Even Phil Spencer has made a comment in regards of basically about wanting to see Banjo-Kazooie happen again and everything like that. And then there's a comment made by Aron Greenberg, who, well, let's just say got to a point where he needed to respond. Now, he's made some comments before in terms of, him defending the sales of Hi-Fi Rush when there were reports that the game did not do as well as a lot of people thought they did. And of course, then the whole Tango Gameworks being shut down by Microsoft and the whole debacle from that produced in every single way possible. Of course, now we know the studio has been saved and everything like that, though. And this recent comment, assuming this is what he said, basically did not go over very well with everybody. That forced him to sort of clarify what he meant and everything like that. The article does come from from the Gamer, but it does point out to be basically a tweet, though, or on X by a person named Jwood 2010, who wrote, if this is actually true, I'm going to assume that it was sarcasm lost in translation. I have a hard time believing that Aron Greenberg would say something like this in public. And he's citing an article from My Nintendo News that points out, quote, Xbox marketing head apparently told an audience nobody cares about Banjo-Kazooie. This later prompted a response from Aron Greenberg, who said, and I quote, correct, I absolutely know how much Banjo-Kazooie means to our fans and gamers everywhere. It holds a special place in my heart growing up playing these classic games. Now, I don't know if, assuming this report from My Nintendo is correct, I don't know whether this was an attempt to make a joke or something, or whether this was a sarcastic comment or anything like that. But if his idea was a joke, though, I would say it was a very poor joke if he was trying to make that kind of comment. Right now, Microsoft, at least from the public view to a certain extent with the Xbox, there have been questionable decisions, and there have been some questions about the leadership and some of the stuff they have started to say, and that has not. Well, let's just say not every Xbox owner out there is happy with some of the comments that they have made, including, you know, like I said, with the whole Tango Gameworks situation, how they say they need more, you know, AA titles, and then people point out you're closing Tango Gameworks. Of course, we saw what happened when they wanted to release this new controller with, you know, like a fire theme on it. It says Field to Burn. They got called out because they announced it on the same time Tango Gameworks shut down, and ultimately had to force them to take the page down and try to do it differently and everything like that. So I don't know if this was an attempt for him to be sarcastic, but if it was, I think it was a dumb joke to really make, and I think it was a stupid one for him to do because, like I said, the image Microsoft is producing right now, let's just say, isn't exactly sitting well with everybody out there, because there's a lot of confusion of exactly what direction is Microsoft going and everything like that, and they haven't really done a good job with messaging and all. So I can understand why not everybody's happy with this comment that was made by Aron Greenberg, but on the other hand, it is possible it could have been taken completely out of context or something like that. So that is a possibility as well and all. And you know, time will ultimately tell if we'll see Banjo-Kazooie make a comeback or anything like that. I mean, personally, I would like to see that along with Conker's Bad Fur Day, maybe actually deliver a quality 3D platform from them. I mean, that would be something Microsoft can add to their library, maybe towards in Game Pass as well. So there certainly would like to see Banjo-Kazooie make a comeback, but given the direction Rare is in right now and where they are going, it remains to be seen if they want to do a Banjo-Kazooie game and everything like that. I mean, it's possible they could go the ways of what we saw with Battletoads and have another studio handle it as well. So there are definitely ways they can handle that IP and everything like that. But I can understand why not everyone would be happy, assuming what he said was true with that statement and all. So overall, assuming this rumor is true, if he did say this and everything like that, I will say it was a pretty stupid thing for him to say and all. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 3, and this one has to do with the Circana numbers that have just recently came out and everything like that. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 3 of my Choose Cent video, and for this one we're going to be taking a look at the Circana numbers that have recently came out for September 2024 and everything like that. And interesting enough, there are some games on that list that I am kind of curious to see how well they did. One of them is, of course, Astrobot, that came out around the same time that Concord pretty much bombed entirely, though, although there are claims that Sony's going to try to bring the game back. I just don't know how they're going to be able to do that, let alone I don't know if they'll be able to succeed on that as well. And of course, The Legend of Zelda Echo of Wisdom, to see how well those games did, at least in terms of the sales charts and everything like that. On top of that, we also have some reports on the hardware, and interestingly enough, we are seeing something a little bit different with the Xbox in terms of between the Series S and the Series X and everything like that. So over at game developer game dev report, it does point out in terms of basically saying that the gaming market declined by 6% year on year in September 2024. They point out that EA Sports FC 25 is the best-selling game of the month, even in the US. So in terms of the best-selling games right now, this one for reported period September 1st to October 5th, we have EA Sports FC 25 at number 1, Astrobot at number 2, Madden NFL 25 at number 3, The Legend of Zelda Echo of Wisdom at number 4, EA Sports College Football 25 at number 5, Star Wars Outlaw at number 6, NBA 2K25 at number 7, Hogwarts Legacy at number 8, NHL 25 at number 9, God of War Ragnarok at number 10, Dead Rising at number 11, Final Fantasy, I believe, 16, if I'm saying the name correctly, I could be wrong, or could be one of the Final Fantasy games, at number 12, Elden Ring at number 13, Minecraft at number 14, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 2023 at number 15, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classic at number 16, Age of Mythology at number 17, Space Marine 2 Warhammer 4000 at number 18, Ghost of Tsushima at number 19, and EA Sports MPV Bundle at number 20. So interesting to see Echo of Wisdom at number 4 and Astrobot at number 2, though. I mean, that's not bad for those games, and I'm very curious to see what this means going forward, seeing if, assuming Astrobot met Sony's expectation, depending on what their expectations are, though, maybe this opens the door to the possibility of maybe doing more of these smaller titles than having to rely so much on these narrative-driven AAA type of games and everything like that. I mean, hopefully that opens the door. And not bad for The Legend of Zelda Echo of Wisdom being at number 4. Obviously, it would have been nice if it was at number 1, but I mean, not bad for a game where Zelda is the main character you're controlling in that game and everything like that. So certainly not bad for that. And Ghost of Tsushima at number 19, though. I'm kind of curious if that has to do with the Ghost of Yokai, if I'm saying the name correctly. I wonder if that has anything to do with that. I think that might be a possibility as well. So certainly nice right there. In terms of the year-to-date games being sold, year-to-date at the top 20 with a reporting period between December 30th, 2023 to October 5th, 2024, we have basically EA Sports College Football 25 at number 1, Helldivers 2 at number 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 2023 at number 3, EA Sports MPV Bundle at number 4, Elden Ring at number 5, Dragon Dogmas 2 at number 6, Madden NFL 25 at number 7, MLB The Show 24 at number 8, WWE 2K 24 at number 9, EA Sports FC 25 at number 10, Hogwarts Legacy at number 11, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth at number 12, Tekken 8 at number 13, NBA 2K24 at number 14, Grand Theft Auto 5 at number 15, Madden NFL 24 at number 16, Minecraft at number 17, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League at number 18, EA Sports FC 24 at number 19, and Persona 3 Reload at number 20. On the hardware side, at least according to what Windows Central is, they pointed out that the PS5 was the best-selling console of the month, with Xbox Series X and S and Nintendo Switch second in dollar sales and units sold respectively. All three consoles were down year over year, but here's the part that makes it interesting with the Xbox Series X and S. According to Windows Central, they're pointing out from courtesy of Circana, the Xbox Series X is now outselling the Xbox Series S in the US as September of 2024, comprising 58 of the units sold in the month, which that is kind of interesting, and it does make you kind of wonder if maybe relying on just, maybe Microsoft relying on this all digital future and maybe not having physical copies, it was a good idea and everything like that, because it's pretty clear that there are people that still want, that physical media and everything like that, because while I do believe an all digital future will eventually happen, there are some hurdles that still need to be overcome, and it does raise the question of ownership. Do you own the game even after you decide to buy it digitally and everything like that? So there's still some hurdles that still need to be overcome but it's interesting to see that the Series X has now overtaken the Series S, and it does make you kind of wonder what kind of approach Microsoft is going to go in with their next console, as there are rumors about them making a more powerful console to some sort of Switch-like device. It's going to be somewhat similar to maybe the same power or close to it being as powerful as like the Series S is. So a whole bunch of rumors back and forth. We have yet to hear anything about that at this time. So very interesting Circana numbers though. It's nice to see Astro Bot, at least in my view, do very well even at number 2. I'm hoping that opens the door for Sony basically doing more maybe double A style or smaller titles and everything like that. Hey, Jack and Daxter, Sly Cooper would be nice if they could do that as well. Nice to see Zelda Echo of Wisdom enter in the top 10 at number 4 and everything like that. It'll be interesting to see what it does next month, and whether or not this could open the door to maybe more future Zelda titles where Zelda is the actual main character and all. And it's also was interesting to see the Xbox Series X outsold the Series S, because at one point it looked like the Series S was the one doing very well and everything like that. And it does make you kind of question Microsoft's approach of maybe not doing as much on the physical side as compared to what Sony and Nintendo are doing. So overall, some very interesting numbers though. I do think the big winners, obviously, EA's happy with how FIFA FC, or EA's, FC soccer game and everything like that. But I think the big winners, in my opinion, were Astro Bot and The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. And on the hardware side, I do think it was still interesting to see the Series X outsell the Series S. But obviously hardware is down, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens supposedly next year when, assuming Nintendo does this, the Switch 2 comes out and everything. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 4. And this one has to do with a rumor coming around that apparently Microsoft may be rethinking their strategy in regards of basically their so-called multi-platform approach and everything. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 4 of my 2 cent video, and for this one I want to take a look at an interesting rumor going around that seemed to indicate that Microsoft might be changing their strategy for their multi-platform approach. Now, one of what many would kind of view as a controversial strategy, depending on who you're asking this, is ever since Microsoft basically purchased Activision Blizzard, or a bit earlier though, we've seen them sort of put their games, or at least some of their games that they have published, onto other systems and all. We've seen titles ranging from Cuphead to Ori and the Will of the Wisp and Ori and the Blind Forest make their way to other systems though. We've also, and of course, Call of Duty, although that has been multi-platform long before, Microsoft purchased Activision Blizzard. And then, of course, there was Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which was later revealed to be coming to the PS5, along with basically, you know, we've seen with Hi-Fi Rush to even Sea of Thieves and all. Well, it seems as though, at least if this rumor is true, that Microsoft may be walking back some of that, though, depending on whether you think this rumor is accurate or not. According to an article from Pure Xbox, it reads that, quote, most of us know by now that Xbox has begun to bring selective titles to the PS5 this year, with the trend set to continue next spring with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. However, a new rumor is suggesting that the reception to this particular announcement has led to Microsoft to squeeze the brakes on its multi-platform plans. According to EXTAS, or AS1S, the Spanish insider who regularly leaks accurate Game Pass news, Microsoft has either paused or slowed down bringing its games to the PS5. The leaker is keen to stress that Xbox hasn't canceled these plans, but the fan reaction to Indiana Jones Simulation PS5 announcements has made Xbox to take notice. Interesting, while these multi-platform plans don't seem to have stopped entirely, this leaker does state that popular Xbox Series, Gears, and Halo are red lines for Microsoft, seamlessly meaning that those choose franchises are completely off the table for bringing to other platforms like the PS5. Finally, the insider adds their opinion that Microsoft will continue to move forward once the Indiana Jones reaction has died down, and we can see this happening as well. A lot of the community frustrations seem to have stemmed from Xbox not waiting to announce the game for PS5, so maybe Team Green will take a more cautious approach with these PS5's reveals in the future. As always, this is all rumors for now, and Microsoft has not come out with any new information on its PS5 plans at this stage. And as of the recording of this video, Microsoft has not said anything regarding this rumor, but I will say this was considered by many to be a very controversial move for Microsoft to do. And it is possible that maybe they're having some doubts because maybe they're thinking that this may actually eat through their sales on the Xbox systems. Like, why bother getting why get Indiana Jones on the Xbox when I can get it to the PS5? Not to mention there have been situations where Digital Foundry has done some videos that showed how the PS5 version of the game sometimes seems to be better than basically excuse me, the Xbox Series X and S version. The other thing that's been pointed out is that it seems that out of the games that Microsoft has put out on other systems like Pentiment or Grounded, especially onto the Switch, to Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves, it seems that Sea of Thieves is the only one that seems to have found the most success, really, compared to the other games. So I do wonder if this may have maybe considered Microsoft to rethink some of their approach to this. Maybe they consider basically maybe not put as much of their games that they publish onto other systems. And the fact that Gears and Halo might be a red line is also interesting indeed, because if they start putting it on other systems, it wouldn't surprise me if it starts might turn some folks away to a certain extent. It's like, why get an Xbox? They're going to bring the game over to the other system, bring Halo over to the other system. So it's very interesting. Indeed, obviously this is a rumor right now, so we still have to wait to hear, but I would not be surprised if they decided to rethink their strategy going forward and everything like that. So overall, although this is a rumor for now, it would not surprise me if Microsoft rethinks their multi-platform strategy, though, and that maybe it comes down to perhaps any game that was multi-platform before they purchased that studio will remain multi-platform, but games like original IPs like Gears and Halo will remain on their Xbox system, so it's that possibility, but time will ultimately tell and all. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to our fifth and final part, and this one has to do with a rumor containing the fact that Nintendo might be taking an approach with remasters to maybe buy time until, you know, the Switch 2 comes out and all. So we'll take a quick break and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with our fifth and final part of our My 2 Cent video, and this one we're going to be looking at is basically an interesting rumor of what Nintendo might be doing until, you know, the Switch 2 comes out. Now, one of the things I think a lot of us have been waiting for is for Nintendo to finally announce the Switch 2. There have been many speculations that it would be announced in October, but as we get closer towards the end of October, it does start throwing into question whether or not Nintendo will actually announce the Switch 2 in 2024. Obviously, for Nintendo, the situation is a lot different compared to where we were in 2016 and 2017, where Nintendo clearly wanted to move on from the Wii U. It's completely different given how successful the Switch has been to Nintendo. Not to mention they've opened a theme park with Super Nintendo World at Universal Studio, and the Mario movie killing it at the box office in 2023 and all. So it seems to be in a different position and all, but it does raise question of how long Nintendo can really stretch the original Switch before we start going into the next system, whether it's a Switch 2 or whatever Nintendo decides to refer to it. Well, a new rumor from PR Brazil seems to indicate that Nintendo might be leaning more on the remaster side to basically, in a way, kind of fill in the gap as Nintendo starts preparations for basically when they finally start talking about the Switch 2 and all. So in an article from My Nintendo News, though, so this is what they have to say. Quote, I'm sorry if I said the name correctly. PH Brazil is now saying that Nintendo is allegedly courting some third-party developers to release some remasters on Nintendo's Hyper Console while Nintendo itself remain busy with the Switch 2. PH Brazil noticed that the games are planned for being remastered on the Switch, including Splinter Cell Blacklist and Drivers 1 and 2. Rayman 3 is also mentioned, though PH Brazil mentioned they're not sure if it's related to today's Rayman rumors, which rumor has it that supposedly the folks who worked on Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown were disbanded and everything like that. However, supposedly Ubisoft came out and say that's false, that they're being moved on to another project, and that the first Rayman game is rumored to be in development and everything like that. Anyway, continuing on, it says, not everything is specifically named, however. Ubisoft has 2 board games that weren't named that they plan to remaster for the Switch. EA has some Wii games coming. Meanwhile, Bandai Namco has something in the works as well, though it is only mentioned that they have a PS3 game being remastered. They apparently have something else, but it's an unknown as to what it is exactly. So, assuming this is true, though, I am very curious to see what kind of games we could see them, remaster and everything like that. Obviously, judging by this, they are remastering some of their old IPs or some of their games, like maybe some of the old Splinter Cell games making their way over to, the Switch. Although there has been rumors about the first one getting remastered, but right now, or being remade, but so far, we don't know what's happened with that one. To be exact, we have heard of other Tales games possibly getting the remaster treatment as well. And given the relationship Bandai Namco has, maybe it has them maybe working on maybe some of their IPs to remaster. I mean, perhaps maybe Star Fox's Soul to, there are that rumors about that Kid Icarus game and everything like that. So we don't know about that's a possibility as well. So it does remain to be seen, and if so, I am curious to see, if assuming this rumor is true, how many remasters they're going to put out until the Switch 2 eventually comes out and everything like that. So it is sort of interesting. I'm both curious about this and at the same time not really sure as well. I mean, in one way, this could help bring a new audience as well that maybe have missed out these games in the past. So time will ultimately tell. We'll have to wait and see how this all plays out. And it is possible Nintendo is sort of buying time as their developers seem to be hard at work with the Switch successor and all. So overall, curious rumor and everything like that. Obviously, neither Nintendo or the developers or these other third-party developers haven't said anything at this time. But I am curious to see what kind of remasters we could see and whether or not this is really Nintendo buying time until the Switch 2, until they start talking about the Switch 2 and eventually release it and everything. Okay, this concludes this My 2 Cent video for this week. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about this Nintendo struggling with the Switch Online Playtest program now that the stuff has been leaked and data mined and everything like that? Do you think this may force Nintendo to rethink this playtest approach and everything like that? Do you think it's possible we could see them send their lawyers to go after these folks who may have leaked this information in which they told them not to in any way? What are your thoughts about Aron Greenberg and his comments about Banjo-Kazooie? Do you think some people are taking it way out of proportion or taking and everything like that? Do you think he was trying to tell a joke or try to be funny and everything like that? Do you think it was a poor joke if that was the case and everything? What are your thoughts about this Circana numbers that came out for September 2024? Are you pleased to see Astrobot basically hit the number 2 spot? Are you pleased to see Legend of Zelda Echo of Wisdom hit like the number 4 spot? And in terms of the hardware sales and everything like that, were you surprised to see the Xbox Series X outsell the Series S? And do you think this could maybe have Microsoft rethink their so-called maybe digital approach and everything like that going forward, especially towards their next system and all? What are your thoughts about this rumor about Nintendo might be, Microsoft might be slowing down their multi-platform ports and everything like that? Do you think this is a good idea from Microsoft? Do you think they mishandled this approach in any way? Do you think they should continue with the multi-platform approach and everything like that? And finally, what are your thoughts about these rumors about the possibility that Nintendo could be releasing remasters while it buys time until the Switch 2 comes out? Do you think this is if this rumor is true though, do you think this is a smart strategy for Nintendo and everything like that? Do you think this rumor is true at all? And what games do you think should be remastered that should make its way over to the Nintendo Switch at this time? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you do like this video, I hope you hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You can do it through PayPal me or Patreon or Steam Labs. Links will be in the description of this video, and I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, wish you all a good day then. Bye.